Hello and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News on this Friday, March 9th. I'm Grant Olson. Here's some of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. A group of Chelan County Sheriff's deputies are suing their employer in federal court in Spokane, alleging that Sheriff Mike Morrison wrongfully demoted them. A former Moses Lake physician was wounded and is now in custody after a police shootout in Florida, where he was arrested for an alleged sexual assault. Partly cloudy skies with temperatures in the low 60s tomorrow before our weather pattern begins to change Sunday with strong gusty winds. Your full local weather forecast is coming up. The National Park Service says it's making federal funds available to partially rebuild the crucial road serving Stehekin. The remote Lake Chelan community sits in the National Recreation Area, which is managed by the National Parks. The town was hit hard by December's flood, which swelled and rerouted the Stehekin River. The flood destroyed the 400-foot levee and about 1,000-foot section of Company Creek Road. Planners want to rebuild the levee and construct an elevated temporary road, part of which would lie outside the NPS jurisdiction. The agency announced its intentions on Thursday, although it didn't publicly commit a dollar amount to the rebuilding. The Park Service aims to complete reconstruction in consultation with Chelan County and local landowners before the spring runoff begins. Okanogan County Sheriff Paul Boudreau is stepping down from his elected position to become the Chief of Police in Twisp. In a letter to constituents, Boudreau said the health insurance he receives as the sheriff does not extend health care benefits to his family. He continued by saying the opportunity in Twisp allows him to remain in the region he currently serves. According to the Methow Valley News, Twisp fired its former police chief in February 2025 and will focus on rebuilding its police force this year. Boudreau's departure comes just before his first term as sheriff was set to end in November. His chief criminal deputy, Jody Barkus, is so far the only candidate to file for office to replace him. A group of Chelan County Sheriff's deputies are suing their employer in federal court in Spokane, alleging that Sheriff Mike Morrison wrongfully demoted them for supporting his predecessor, Brian Burnett, during the 2022 election. Their lawsuit says Morrison demoted them from their previous positions of sergeant in an act of retaliation and, quote, ensured that plaintiffs are shunned as troublemakers. They say that during the 2022 campaign, the candidates and the county compelled them to publicly choose sides and offer endorsements. The lawsuit was filed on Wednesday. It follows a previous tort claim seeking $2 million in damages for each deputy. Now the four are asking for damages, attorney's fees, and any injunctive relief. The Douglas County Sheriff's Office is asking residents in the Eastmont area to review security cameras for footage that may aid their investigation into the stabbing of an East Wenatchee woman. On Tuesday, police say 32-year-old Mitchell Figueroa Ibarra confronted the 35-year-old victim outside her home at 40th Circle Northeast near East Wenatchee and stabbed her multiple times. Sheriff's deputies say the assault was captured on home security video and are asking nearby residents to review footage from their home cameras between 2:10 a.m. and 3:30 a.m. on March 3rd for suspicious activity or unusual foot traffic. The area of interest spans Eastmont Avenue and Badger Mountain Road south toward Eastmont and 19th Street. Anyone with relevant footage is asked to contact the Sheriff's tip line at 509-699-3283. When we come back, despite being struck down, several Washington state legislators voted in favor of a war powers resolution meant to halt President Donald Trump's war in Iran. And Eniat has a new face on its city council. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
This March, Lake Chelan welcomes food and wine lovers to an unforgettable experience. Taste Chelan. Chelan Valley's top wineries and restaurants create the perfect pairing of fine wines and culinary delights. With 4 weekends to explore, every visit offers something fresh and exciting. From your first sip to the last bite, every moment is a delicious adventure. But don't wait, tickets are selling fast. Visit tastechelan.com today.
The Moses Lake National RV Show is coming March 13th to the 22nd at the Grant County Fairgrounds. Shop hundreds of RVs, receive huge discounts, exclusive show-only pricing. Prices this low will only be available at the National RV Show at the Grant County Fairgrounds. Manufacturer reps are on site stacking additional savings. No payments for 120 days on approved credit, free admission, free parking, plus shop like a VIP and receive an additional $1,000 off. Learn more at nationalrvshowmoseslake.com.
You build more than projects. You build what communities rely on. When the job site runs on results, put Kubota to work. Backed by expert service and support from your local Kubota dealer. Right now, bring home select Kubota KX series with 0% financing available or save up to $4,800.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
A former Moses Lake physician was wounded and is now in custody after a police shootout in Florida where he was arrested for an alleged sexual assault. 72-year-old Thomas Earl Steffens previously practiced in Grant County from 1990 until relocating to Colorado, where he received a new license to practice in 2019. Police in his new hometown of Grand Junction say Steffens is suspected of drugging and sexually assaulting a woman sometime around January 28th. He was wanted on a Colorado arrest warrant when police and U.S. Marshals caught up with him Tuesday in a traffic stop in Vero Beach, Florida, where he allegedly refused to exit the vehicle and he was riding in and opened fire on the officers. One U.S. Marshal was wounded in the leg. The task force returned fire and injured Steffens before arresting him. The Marshals Service says he was treated at a local hospital and is expected to survive. Colorado records show Steffens agreed not to practice medicine last year, while the state medical board investigated claims that he was mentally or physically unfit to work as a physician. In addition to the Colorado case, he now faces likely charges in Florida, including attempted murder. Several Washington state legislators voted in favor of a war powers resolution meant to halt President Donald Trump's war in Iran. This week, both the U.S. House and Senate struck down measures to stop the strikes in the Middle East. U.S. Senators Patty Murray and Maria Cantwell voted in favor of the Senate resolution, which failed on Wednesday 47-53. The House voted down a similar resolution yesterday 212 to 219. Washington's 8th District Representative Kim Schreier voted in favor, though Dan Newhouse, who represents Washington's 4th District, voted against it. NEAT has a new face on its city council. Victor Lemus was sworn in to the NEAT City Council Position 5 seat last week. The seat had been left open after the departure of Clay Brandenburg in December. 3 people applied for the position, and Lemus was selected after an interview conducted during the council's meeting on February 12th. Lemus was sworn in February 26th and will finish the remainder of the term, which ends in December 2027. Coming up next, AmeriCorps has put people to work in diverse fields since it was created in the 1990s. In tonight's feature story, we spoke about the program with two local AmeriCorps organizers. Get ready for big weather changes beginning on Monday. I'll have your local weather details coming up, along with Dan Kuntz with a look at all things sports as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues after these messages.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCWLIFE. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the diagnostic doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
Highlander Golf Course and Grill, your place for fun, food, and friends. Happy hour every day, 2 to 7. Try their brand new menu and famous prime rib every Saturday night. Planning a celebration? Book your holiday party, wedding, or private event, even in their exclusive simulator rooms. Highlander Golf Course and Grill, where every day is a celebration. Visit today.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
AmeriCorps has put people to work in diverse fields since it was created in the 1990s. The federal program places seasonal staff in communities around the country doing work that touches on education, conservation, economic development, veteran services, and more. In the Wenatchee Valley, AmeriCorps workers who are known as members work through the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council. In tonight's feature story, NCWLIFE's Dan Kuntz spoke about the program with two local AmeriCorps organizers.
A day can look very different from depending what host site you're placed at. Each member has a host site, and Jeremy and I work with the site supervisors that are going to mentor that AmeriCorps member and support them. They might be tutoring students in the school. They might be at a nonprofit recruiting volunteers. They might be helping out at a food pantry or a food distribution center. So it can really vary depending where they are placed at.
And how do you determine when an AmeriCorps person falls under your purvey? How do you decide what skill set works for, I'm going to send you here to work on this or send you there to work on that? How do you make the right fit work?
Yeah, so the applicants, they complete a AmeriCorps member application and they go through an interview process with both Jeremy and I, and then also with the potential host sites. You know, we have a very candid conversation with them. You know, what are you interested in? And then we also take into account their experiences, or maybe they have a goal, I want to work in this field. So we try to play matchmaker to help them find a position that they'd be interested in. And
it's, my guess is a bit of a challenge. I mean, to really make it work?
To make it work, it just takes a lot of hard work, you know, on everyone's part. The applicants to be willing to try something new, you know, maybe learn a new skill that haven't used before or don't know about. But then also us too, we want to be able to support them and the host site. So it's really important that we're all on the same page, that we're all working together.
What's the difference between what Liz does as the director and you as the volunteer coordinator for the local AmeriCorps?
So I help Liz with recruitment of members or host sites. We always are recruiting for host sites. I myself am a host site supervisor for the Literacy Council and for a secondary for food distribution. So I feel that there are a lot of great benefits to being a host site. You get to work with people of diverse backgrounds. You get to bring people into your agency to help you build capacity or expand on a current program. So it's just a great partnership, and just basically recruiting volunteers.
And do you have the same challenges that Liz does as, hey, you got to volunteer and just stick me wherever you need me, as opposed to, I think I'll be better at this than that?
Yeah, so even with the agency volunteer application, it's much like the AmeriCorps application. We have a listing of this is where we want to help out at. And then I just meet one-on-one with them and find out basically where they truly would be the happiest and make their service more meaningful.
And how do you put the need with whatever it may be? There's a couple of openings right now. I think the Humane Society had an opening for somebody in there up in the Bridgeport area. How does the marriage work between this is the AmeriCorps person that we need, and this is why we need them? How does that marriage work? How do you fit those two together?
Yeah. So we, build a partnership, and as you know, partnership takes time, effort, energy. We work together to create a AmeriCorps member position description, which outlines the tasks that the members are going to do. And on that, we can put we would like a member to have experience in here, or maybe a skill set here. And so we try to do a match, and then we also support them in supporting their member. Maybe they have a member that joined that position that doesn't have that skill, help them, support them to train them with that skill.
Is there a certain challenge with AmeriCorps? And I mean this from a budgetary standpoint. Alan and I talked about this before. Things were a little dicey at this time last year, and AmeriCorps locally was going to just go away, and then the money came back again. Is it hard to recruit either flat-out volunteers or the people who are being paid not much to do their job? Is that like, gee, I'd love to work with AmeriCorps, but I don't know if I'm going to have a job in 3 months. Does that make things challenging?
Definitely, it's challenging. AmeriCorps has had a lot of challenges, but we have huge supporters in the Valley, in the community. We've been really fortunate, and we've had partnerships that have hosted members years after year. And so, with budgets, that can change, and so we try to be positive, work together, and just have, transparent communication with the members too. I had, some members join that maybe had concerns about what happened in the past, and we can't always control everything, but we can do all that we can do and support them.
AmeriCorps is basically for everyone. Does not matter your age, we will find a position for you that will make you happy, and you can actually benefit from the AmeriCorps program benefits, like the Education Award. They receive a $7,395 education award that can be applied to their qualifying student loans. So if someone doesn't have student loans, or they don't have any interest in going back to college, if they're over the age of 55, they can actually gift that to a child or a grandchild.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you ended the week on a high note. Boy, weather, it was definitely a high note out there today. Wasn't it a beautiful day? Just a little breezy, but nothing like we saw winds last night. And we did see a mix of clouds and sun out there today. And look at this gorgeous shot. Our monitor tower camera and the streaks of dark clouds through the sky. And we did see some blue sky out there today as well. The sun allowed our temperatures to get well above where we should be for this time of year, and we'll talk about that in a second. But let's move forward a little bit. Tomorrow's going to be nice. Sunday, that's when our weather will begin to change. We are expecting very strong winds. Waterville Plateau, Columbia Basin, you could see wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour, and we are talking a steady wind on Sunday, 25 to 40 miles an hour, as Mother Nature ushers in a cold front, much cooler weather, and yes, even some snow possible for us as we get you into next week. And here is that significant weather pattern change, and it begins, as I mentioned, Sunday night, and we'll go all the way into Thursday, March 12th. Before we warm up, we're talking about moderate to heavy snow Sunday night through Thursday that will make some very tricky travel in our area mountain passes. Look at that, 50% chance possibly that Stevens Pass could see 12 inches of snow or more each day And we're talking Sunday right into Thursday, and we can see some of that lowland snow here in our area as well, but I think it'll be more of a rain-snow mix for us, but certainly we could see some snowflakes as we get you into next week, so get ready for that, and by all means, enjoy, especially tomorrow. High temperature today, it was a beauty out there, unofficially at 57 degrees. 49 is our normal high for this time of year, and our record 65, and that was set back in 2005. We were very mild this morning at 43, 31 is where we should be for a normal low temperature, and our record cold was set in 1989 at 18 degrees. Sunrise this morning, 6:31. And it sets for us tonight at 5:54. All right, let's get into that weekend, and we'll show you some temperatures for tomorrow, and you are going to like these. Look at that, 60s all over our map. Mid-60s possible. Moses Lake and Ephrata, 63 in Quincy, 62 for Wenatchee. Ellensburg, you should see 62. 61 in Kashmir, Eniat, and Chelan, and Leavenworth. What a beautiful day to head up that way tomorrow. High temperature of 60 degrees expected up that way. All right, tonight we do expect mostly cloudy skies, a lot like we're seeing right now. High pressure still in control of our weather, at least for now, but you can see lots of clouds out there. We will be mild once again overnight tonight. Low temperatures in those mid-40s, but just some scattered showers in western Washington. Here we go for Saturday. Most of the clouds in western Washington. We will be unseasonably warm tomorrow with high temperatures in those low to mid-60s all over our viewing area. Then the bottom falls out on Sunday. We will see a lot of wind, gusting up to 50 miles an hour. Along with it, about a 30% chance that we could see some rain showers, upper 50s for high temperatures on Sunday. And then as that cold front actually makes its way through our area, more breezy conditions on Monday, cloudy, a 40% chance that we will see a rain-snow mix on Monday. We are going to really cool down. Mid-40s for high temperatures on Monday. And then as we move along into Tuesday, that weather is going to continue. Cloudy skies, a 50% chance for a rain-snow mix right here in north central Washington and over into the eastern part of the state. High temperatures on Tuesday still only in those mid-40s, which is below normal for this time of year. By the time we get to Wednesday, this is our best shot for moisture, I think. Cloudy skies, a 70% chance for, I think, mainly rain on Wednesday. High temperatures will warm into the mid to upper 40s, but we do have a lot of cold air still. Thursday, more of those breezy conditions, cloudy, and 80% chance for rain. We will warm up a little bit on Thursday as well, with high temperatures then right around 50 degrees. All right, your 7-day forecast now, and it's brought to you by Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee, where comfort, care, and community come together. 44 overnight tonight. 61 tomorrow. Boy, if you have the chance to get outside tomorrow, by all means do it. Very windy Sunday, a chance for rain, and 58. And then we have that rain-snow mix, especially for Monday and Tuesday. Still breezy conditions with temperatures in the mid-40s. Our best chance for the wet stuff will be on Wednesday, a 70% chance of rain and snow. High temperature then of 47, and then as we get you to Thursday, cloudy skies, an 80% chance of all rain with high temperatures then right around 50. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Dan Kuntz and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
NCWLIFE Channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCWLIFE would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
Apple Valley Honda is bringing the future of driving to you. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue EV. Say goodbye to gas stations and hello to a whisper-quiet ride and zero emissions. The wait is over. Finally, a local option for a quality EV from a brand with a track record of exceptional quality and reliability. Experience the Honda Prologue EV for yourself at family-owned Apple Valley Honda. Stay close to home and visit us at Apple Valley Honda today for the life you live.
Happy Friday, everybody. You're going to look at the score from yesterday's Cactus League game between the Padres and the Mariners. You're going to go, what the heck happened here? That was the actual final score. What happened? Lots of sunshine, lots of wind blowing straight out to center field, which means lots of home runs and lots of dropped fly balls. 27 runs by the Padres, by the way, a Cactus League record, not the kind that the Mariners wanted to see broken. They took on the Rangers earlier today in Cactus League action. Kraken back at it again tomorrow night. Ottawa Senators are in town. Ottawa and Seattle have about the best records, or identical records anyway. The only difference is the Kraken is 4th in the Pacific, but the Senators are 6th in the Atlantic. The Atlantic, by the way, is really good. They'll drop the puck tomorrow night at Climate Pledge Arena at 7 o'clock. Women's college basketball, the Big Ten tournament in Indianapolis earlier today. Number 2, UCLA dispatched the Washington Huskies. There's your final there, 78-60. But the Huskies will be going to the big dance. Wazoo needed to beat Pacific this afternoon to make it to the big dance. We'll let you know how they did later on. Men's college basketball schedule. You'll notice Gonzaga's not on here. They don't play again until Monday. But here's what's happening today in the West Coast Conference Tournament in Las Vegas. Wazoo will take on Portland at 6 o'clock tonight, 8 o'clock on Saturday. Tomorrow in Eugene, it's the Huskies and the Ducks, the last regular season game of the year for both of those teams before the Big Ten tournament begins next week. Brewster Bears were hoping to take home the big gold ball. They won't be able to do so. They lost to Reardon last night in the quarterfinals. In the consolation bracket, they took on Northwest Christian in the Girls State 2B basketball tournament earlier today. Waterville-Mansfield, though, still has a chance at the big gold ball after beating Yakima Tribal in the quarters. They'll take on Garfield-Palouse tonight at 9 o'clock in the semifinals. Pateros is in the consolation bracket. They took on Cross Point Christian at 12:15 this afternoon. Chelan lost to Zilla last night in the consolation bracket earlier today. They lost to Andy Wright. The final there in overtime was 49-44 for the Chelan Goats. Great year, but it ends without a trophy. Okanogan has a chance to take home the big gold ball after beating Tri-Cities Prep last night. They'll take on Colfax in the semifinals tonight at 7:15. Amara Cooley Heartline knocked off Columbia Adventist last night. They're in the semifinals. They'll take on Tulalip Heritage at 5:30. Wenatchee Wild pretty much have to win both games this weekend to have any chance of making the WHL playoffs. They're taking on the Penticton Vs tonight in Canada at 7:05, and tomorrow they'll be hosting the Vs at 6 o'clock at the Town Toyota Center. It is back again, Rails and Ales in downtown Wenatchee. And in downtown Wenatchee, it's our new sports director. Here's Cade Calvin.
By Saturday evening, this entire area will be covered with snow as skiers and snowboarders prepare to compete in the annual Rails and Ales event.
Rails and Ales is probably one of the largest annual downtown rail jams in the country, actually.
Matt Kung, the marketing manager for Mission Ridge Ski and Board Resort, says Rails and Ales is a huge draw for thousands of people in the area every year. The event will feature some amazing action, as well as local breweries in the form of a beer garden, live music, and much more. He says the snow for the event will be supplied by over a dozen dump trucks covering Orondo Avenue in downtown Wenatchee.
It's a freestyle competition, so what that means is instead of just going for speed or something like that, it's really about creativity, doing tricks, and having a lot of style in your competition. So we bring down a bunch of metal rails and boxes for the athletes to actually slide on, and they can throw any trick that they want to off of it, and they'll get judged both on the difficulty of what they do and on the execution and the technique on how they do it.
And before the Rail Jam battles begin, Mission Ridge will be providing beginners a chance to try out skiing and snowboarding in Centennial Park from noon to 3 p.m.
I think we're just super excited to have the opportunity to really bring part of the mountain actually down into town. Just give people some exposure who might not naturally be having experience with skiing or snowboarding to the sport that we all love here. So we're just really excited to have an opportunity to get people excited about it and see some cool tricks getting thrown down.
The Rail Jam competitions will kick off Saturday at 4:30 p.m. For more information, you can go to visitwenatchee.org. Reporting in Wenatchee, Cade Calvin, NCWLIFE.
All right, this Saturday, look for the weekend edition of the Wenatchee World in your mailbox. Assignment editor Pete O'Kane is here with your breakdown of all the news that will carry you through until next week. Pete?
In this weekend's edition of the Natural World, we have coverage on how concerns of what low snowpack will do to agriculture this year. There's a new speakeasy open in Kashmir, and 4 deputies have filed a federal lawsuit against Chelan County on claims that they were wrongfully demoted by Sheriff Mike Morrison. You can read all that and more at wenatchworld.com.
And that will do it for this Friday edition of the NCWLIFE Evening News. Remember, if you see news happening, let us know. Email your news tips to news@ncwlife.com or just give us a call at 888-6295. Our channel is also available on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us and have a great weekend.